This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody? It's another episode of the NFC East Show, and we're broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Zodiac TV, and the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. I am the Philly Sports Guy. I've got my main man, Sneaky G-Man, here.
The one and only.
I'm sure True Blue will be in here momentarily. He'll be here shortly, but we're going to get started without him. And, of course, we're just going to jump right in. Washington lost again. End of story.
Yes,
Can't find a Washington guy. If we can't find a Washington guy, Washington's not going to get represented here. So they stink anyways.
I'm going to say this. Philly, I am going to take the blame for this week because I told you last week I was going to make an announcement and I was going to find the guy, blah, 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 blah. I did not a damn thing.
You were busy doing some stuff.
I failed you. Yes, I failed you. So I will do my part this coming weekend. Actually, after the show, I'll put it out there. We need a Washington person.
Exactly.
Will the real Washington fan please stand up? Please stand up.
Well, and I think that's part of the problem. I mean, think about all the stuff that's happening with Washington right now. I know it's just like, the stuff that happened with Gruden is the tip of the nipple. I mean, the iceberg. Because obviously they had some other things going on as well happening down there. I mean that organization is a straight shit show.
Yeah, I mean, well, we knew it. There was something going on when we found out about the cheerleaders and whatnot. I didn't even believe it. I didn't believe it. When someone told me, I had to look it up myself, and I'm like, Dan Snyder is about to lose the team.
Well, not only that, I mean, so once I went to go take a look at it, I had to spend like a bunch of time looking at it because those were some really good pictures. Hey, there he is.
Hey, while you're at it, Jamie, how about you go ahead and email those to me, please?
Yeah, just because those pictures were some pretty pictures. I tell you, I understand why they got around.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, but I think it's kind of so the pictures are one thing, but it's the verbiage. The next.
Yes.
But I think what the question I have is this. Did Gruden decide to resign or was forced to resign after the racial comments he made, or after the racial comments he made, he apologized, and then the homophobic comments were raised, and then he was forced to resign. That's the question I have.
I don't think he was forced to resign at all. If you want my honest opinion about this, because we'll only touch on this briefly because we could go down a rabbit hole with this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
definitely.
I feel that he resigned because there's so much more.
Oh,
There's
yes.
so much more. He resigns because he's like, okay, if this is going to start to come out, I know what I wrote. And I got to imagine.
Right.
So they just released those and he resigned. So hopefully it'll go away and it'll get, brushed under the rug. But realistically, there's bodies buried.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There are bodies buried. And that's going to be a big deal.
I would. Well, because if you look into the comment that and I won't push the button and if you read the comments that Davis made, I would be surprised if Davis didn't say it might be a good idea. It might be a good idea. Not that he said you have to, but just kind of be like.
Well,
and then did you hear what the Buccaneers did?
They took him off the Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, how do you not though? Like you almost have to.
Yeah. 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 You're gonna have to. Yeah. It's a new dawn, a new day. So I am curious of what more is gonna come out. What more is gonna present itself. And you're right. How many bodies is this gonna claim? And what names are going to show up? And will we be surprised at those names too?
I mean, so Adam Schefter actually also got named in one of those emails. Now that wasn't even anything bad. Just he got his emails came out. So there's going to be a lot of these things going on. Do you have an opinion, True Blue? Welcome to the show.
What's up, brother?
How you feeling?
Oh, I'm good. Just running late, trying to get stuff tidied up.
Understood. We
waiting
for you.
It feels like it was just yesterday I saw you, True Blue.
That's what it feels like. 3 days. 3 days have already gone by, man.
So fast. So
fast.
So we might as well, because obviously we're going to probably end with my game, and we'll talk a lot because I've got a lot more to go on because we start tomorrow.
Yep.
It seemed like you guys were having a great game till you guys started taking out, a few years ago, there was like this guy they thought he was in a white van and he was just shooting people and just killing people at random.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what it was like what it was. It was like somebody was shooting from the top of the stadium and just, all right, Saquon, you're down.
One by one.
Daniel Jones, you're down. Galladay, you're down. That guy in the fourth row, you're down. You know what I mean? It was like everybody was getting hurt at that game.
It was brutal. To see Barkley hobble off the field, and I mean, of course, when you're watching the game live, you're seeing things that you don't see on TV. And I saw the panic. On the Giants medical staff. There's a gentleman that was like, he ran halfway and was like, you could see him signaling, like, we need the cart. And I just said, oh no.
Yeah, and that's the type of injury too that, it was pretty brutal.
It was a basketball injury.
Yeah.
Because it looks like somebody surgically implanted a basketball in his ankle afterwards.
Yeah.
It looked like there was a softball in there. It was amazing for how quickly that blew up like that. But it was more a basketball injury than it was a football injury.
So luckily, he's only going to be out for a couple weeks. It's a low ankle sprain. He should be back. I think 2 to 4. And if I was ownership, I would make it I would make him do the full 4. If not, keep him another week out, just in case.
Yeah, most
You know.
definitely.
Yeah, the problem is that your season will be over by then.
Well, so Jones should be back next week. Galladay should be back next week. You know, but the thing is, we still have some weapons. Kadavius showed us something Sunday. 189 yards. That's no joke, but he can't throw a punch. Okay, which I'm glad. I'm glad it did not land because
Well, that's what saved him. It saved him from getting suspended.
well, and it might have saved his career too. I want him to catch the ball with his hands.
Yes.
I don't need him punching helmets. I don't
Yeah.
need him punching helmets.
Yeah, there was some stuff going on in that game that it was just really unnecessary, and that was one of them. I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you've looked at the film, Sneaky. I really felt like the NFL and the New York Football Giants are going to have a little issue with that play where Jones went down. I was literally standing right there when it happened, right in front of me.
Okay.
And if you go back and look at the play, look at your tight end on the left side. It was a false start. That Jones injury was a false start on that tight end. The referee grabbed his waist, was about to throw out the flag and let the play roll, and that's what got Daniel Jones injured. I saw him move before the ball was snapped, and I thought he was going to pull the flag and throw it and call it. That didn't happen. He allowed that play to transition, and Daniel Jones got hurt. Now I'm not saying it's the referee's fault, but somebody should have blown that play dead.
Yeah, but also you should have. I did watch that play a little bit, and the Dallas guy, the first guy who hit Daniel Jones, had his head down and went helmet to helmet. Now I know Daniel Jones lowered his head too, but the Dallas guy was looking down at the ground and he wasn't looking at Daniel Jones, and that's what the rule states. That you're not allowed to do that. You have to have your eyes up. Like if you hit helmet to helmet, but if your face mask hits the helmet, that's okay. But when you go crown to crown, that was the problem. And that's where I had a problem because the referee didn't throw his flag for that either.
There was a lot, but I'm not. My issue was the false start. I mean, had that play been blown right there, none of that would have transitioned.
Right, definitely.
But it's one of those things where, again, there were several calls that were bad. The officials, week in, week out, we're seeing the officials still continue to do the same thing. I understand these are grown men. The speeds that these guys run at is just, something to admire. But again, if you need more refs on the field, if we need cameras involved, it needs to happen. And I can get the, offsides, false starts, all that other stuff. But there's just some times that these guys are going to have to step in. The NFL is going to have to do something about this game.
Well, I mean, it's being officiated by people, and that's the mistakes are gonna be made no matter what system we have in place. I mean, we could have another instant replay or give the coaches the power to second guess the refs, which didn't work when they did the passing interference. I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
There's always going to have that little element. It's never going to be perfect. But I'm with you. I agree with you. And sadly, had that whistle would have been blown, Jones wouldn't have been seeing Tweety Bird, going around his head. So
yeah, and when you go back and you see it, you're going to say, "What the?"
Oh no, I believe it. I believe it already. I believe what you said, and I could even I could see it now. I want to say this. I had the ultimate fan experience this weekend.
Good.
I did see you on the Jumbotron, by the way. When so we left the house. I'm gonna take a few minutes. We left the house a little late. Got to the stadium just before, like maybe 15 minutes before they let everybody in. We were on that 100 level, the 136, the club seats. I got to talk to Sterling Shepard. I gave him one of my shirts. I wished him well. I hope he got, he gets healthy and he makes his opportunity counts on the field. I got to confess my loyalty to John Mara, who I was calling him Mora, and I was in shell shock. That's why I called him Mora. And then Gettleman, I just gave him some props.
Can you do me a favor? Get me another one of these. I was what you did in the video. That's what you did in the video. I watched that video.
Yeah,
but you know what I said? Get me another one of these.
Yeah, I said, give me another one of these. Okay, not this one. This is the conference championship, but this one. And he said, "Amen, brother. Amen." So, yes, sir. All around good experience. And
only thing could have been better was that they could have won.
Oh God! Yesterday was man. I went to work. I couldn't even open the door to my office. Like I was walking to the building, and it's a pretty massive building. I walk into the building, and as soon as I get the door, they were like, "How about them?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." I haven't even had my first cup of coffee. I haven't even. Yeah. I mean, can you at least talk me off the ledge? No. They were going to help me push. They were going to.
Oh yeah, we're going to push you to the ledge.
Oh yeah. and it's funny because on TikTok, everybody's saying I can't talk anymore. Oh, apparently you don't know me. Apparently, I'm built differently. I'm just going to say that. So.
Just a little bit. Just a
little bit. I will say this: the section I was at, the Dallas Cowboy fans were phenomenal. You know what? I gave it to them; they gave it right back, and that's how it's supposed to be. And we looked good the first quarter. We looked really good. We got a couple turnovers. We got a couple first downs. Then Barkley happened. And then the wheels on the bus go round and round. So ultimately, now because I had those type of seats, that's the only way I can experience those games from now on.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah. That's the only way.
Yep.
So we are eating cereal with a fork with water for the next 2 weeks, but oh God, it's so worth it. And I say that while I'm drinking my Sonic tea.
There you go. I get it. Well, like I said, you guys, it seemed like it was a good game. And I got to catch. I caught it right at the injury. That's where I started to watch the game because it took me a long time. It took me a long time to leave the stadium. After Eagles wins, it's twice as long for me to leave the stadium.
Oh yeah.
Than it is for losses. And I had my own little moment as well. Landon Dickerson's parents came over, and as I'm taking pictures, they came over and Mr. goes, "Hi, I'm Mr. Dickerson, Landon's dad. I need you to come over here after you're done here. I need to take a picture with you for a minute." And I'm like, "Okay, Mr. Dickerson, give me a minute." And then, of course, 60 pictures later, I finally get to go walk over to him, and I got to meet him, Landon's mom, his fiance, the father-in-law to be, the sister, and it was like I was in the middle of all the wedding pictures. It was like I felt like I was going to get invited to the wedding.
There you go.
Yeah, which was it's a great experience to do that. And then the referee who worked the game, the female referee who worked the game, took a picture with me. So which was also kind of cool. But it was good to come out after a win, especially a win that looked so horrible. Like we didn't play great at all. And then, with about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter or third quarter.
Just shut up and take the damn win.
And listen,
Yes,
I was sitting closer to the field than you were, so I got to see it firsthand how bad they stunk for just about 3 quarters.
I would take what you got 100-fold.
Well, yeah, because
I
you
would
guys
take
are so used to losing now.
We're not used to losing, but we are losing. So I will take any win that I can right now.
Who do you guys play this week?
We play the Rams.
Oh, so another loss.
You know what? We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I've been saying this, and I'll say it again. Everybody said the same thing about last year when we played Seahawks, the Seattle Seahawks with Colt McCoy, and we shocked the world. You never know. Any given Sunday.
You guys playing in LA?
I think we're at home.
Here, I'll tell you right now.
Well, that's a little travel. It's easier to go east to west than it is west to east. So,
They are in New York, and it's a 1 o'clock game.
Oof.
Yeah, we are at home. Yeah. So.
Going back to the Cowboys, I think the first quarter that we were going through, I think there was a little PTSD for Dak Prescott. I could see it in the performance. You can see him. He wasn't himself in that first quarter, even partly into the second quarter, and then he started slinging that ball after that.
Well, with the fumbles and the interception.
Yep.
So okay, let me say this real quick. When CD scored that touchdown, I looked at my loving son, and I said, Nick, he's going to CD Lamb. CD Lamb is manned up with Bradbury, and Bradbury has no deep help. What happened? Touchdown.
Yep.
When Bradbury dropped that potential interception, I stood up in my seat and I yelled. Everybody was like, "What are you yelling about?" I was like, "We needed that. We have, like I told you in the show, we have to play perfect. We got to take advantage of every opportunity." And of course, they're like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Watch what's going to happen." Amari Cooper touchdown.
Yep. And that was a dime right there.
When Jones got hurt, I was like, Diggs is going to get his. And he did. And he did.
Yeah, I mean, he was making some. I mean, even though he didn't have those other two inbounds, there were some pretty amazing catches. But that one over the top was pretty awesome. Yeah, and it's one of those things where you look at it and you see the improvement so much from Dak Prescott, just delivering the ball in the certain spot where it needs to be hit, between the defense. And it's something I've always told the Philly sports guy is as much as we know, you think the coaches would be able to see it just as yourself did when you were looking at that play happen. But what do we know? We're just fans. Yeah.
I saw it right away.
Yeah.
They had one safety deep. He was shaded more to his backside, and I'm like, he's going deep.
Yep. And it happens all the time. You can see the play unrolling, and it's just one of those things where you see it, but there's nothing you can do about it, and you just wonder why aren't the coaches doing something to see.
Yeah, I don't know. And then when you hear Romo call the plays, you're like, oh, yeah, you can see how it develops on the field. Yep. But you have to be a former player to understand that. And maybe not. Maybe I misspoke.
Yeah, he delivers it in such a way that you do understand it. But the more knowledge you have on the game, the easier it is to go with those calls. But again, what do we know? We're just fans.
Right.
That's what makes me angriest. I tell you that because when I see something on the field, if I see it, I know that the other team sees it, and that they're going to either exploit it. And if that's the case, that means that I'm coaching the team better than the coach, and I got a problem with that. I have a serious problem with that because and I listen. I don't mind losing. Losses don't make me angry. I get disappointed, but I don't get angry. What makes me angry is when the coaches who are getting paid millions of dollars to coach, and I get to see, and I'm seeing this stuff.
Yep.
Like I know that the Eagles should not throw another wide receiver screen for the rest of the season. I know that they should definitely not call that play when it's 1st and goal.
Yeah.
But you know what? They do every time. And you know what happens? They lose 5 yards. It's almost like clockwork. It's like, okay, 1st and goal, wide receiver screen. Now it's 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15.
Well, from what I was seeing from the highlights is the same thing that Cam Newton was, being coached in the plays that he was being offered at Carolina, even last year at New England, where, it's repetitive and Jalen Hurts is going to get hurt because you do it one too many times. Yes, it worked twice, those play options where he ran it in. And it's just one of those things. You're starting to treat him like Cam Newton, which tells me you're not that comfortable with him processing the plays that you're throwing in there for him. I don't think either he's learning the playbook or he's just not picking up on the playbook. It's one of the two.
I can honestly say this. I am so glad I did not see a jet sweep or a reverse on the Giants side this week. And
clapping though.
And he wasn't clapping actually. I was watching for that. I was actually watching for that.
I wasn't. I was. It was pretty fun watching both sides of the ball, but the defense prevailed, and that's what I like the most. And I mean, with the 2 turnovers, the one interception for the TD at the very end of the game really didn't bother me as much as what was going on in the second quarter and the first quarter.
If we would have pulled off the miracle and pulled off the upset with Matt Glennon, without Jones, without Saquon, I can't even imagine the headlines. Obviously we didn't, and I don't know. For me, when Jones went out, I was saying next man up.
Yeah.
But I really hope Glennon is a little more prepared this week than he was. And I'm not saying he wasn't prepared, but I'm really hoping that he's getting the first round or the first offensive snaps this week. And we got to do better. We got to do better.
Yeah, that's the thing is I always say it. I don't ever want to see somebody get hurt because I want to play the best. And when I saw, Barkley go out, and then I get the instant message saying he's out, he's been carted off or walked off the field.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you hear from other fans, and I even heard it, you beat our second string, you beat this. These guys are all in the NFL. These guys are all grown men. They're in the NFL for a reason because they know how to play. They might not be the first string, but they're the second man up. So we can't complain about it all the time.
No, I mean, they are professionals. They are professionals. But I do want to talk about Kadarius Toney again. That man proved me right. And not that I wanted to be right, but it's just the fact that since the draft, I have been told on multiple occasions, hey, Jamie, can you mute just for 1 second? Because I want to make sure everybody hears me on this part. Kadarius Toney is a first-round pick. Get over yourself, people. And it's proven that he's a first-round pick. Why? Because if he wasn't selected by the New York Football Giants, he would be on the Jaguars right now. I was going to say maybe dancing alongside of Urban Meyer. But so the point that I'm trying to make here is hopefully if he can settle down, which he did apologize. He did apologize for his actions. And, it's unacceptable. But we all can understand when emotions get the best of us. He is a young kid.
Yep.
But again, I'm not excusing it. I'm just bringing it to the forefront. Now he apologized. Now the thing about an apology is, if you do it again, you're lying about your apology. So I believe in Kadarius Toney and not repeating his actions. I believe that he understands the role that he's in now, and now that we see the potential. You guys only saw that one. I don't know how much you.
I didn't even mute him. He
I
muted
know.
himself.
I know. Well, it does that. I don't know why it does that.
Because it's Donner, you talking all the time. You're just trying to take over the whole show. The Giants are 1-4. They are in last place. They speak out loud. That's it.
I am embracing our successes because apparently we can't have this success in the win column.
Right, exactly. You guys are 1-4.
I will take what we can get.
And about to play the Rams, so you'll be 1-5 here shortly.
You don't know. Might not.
You might not. And you know what? I'm sure if you guys win, you will talk the whole time next week about how you guys had that win.
No, not really.
In the meantime, there were a couple of teams that did win, and one of them is on the left and one of them is on the right of you. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So,
it was a pretty interesting week in football, looking at all the proven and unproven teams and the people who keep getting thrown in there, such as the Kansas City Chiefs. And that game, I was listening to it on the road back and listening to the play-by-play guys, the color analysts, or not the color analysts, but the play-by-play on the radio. And the way they were detailing the game was just, that Mahomes wasn't in presence, which tells me the Buffalo Bills defense is starting to come around. But where I'm getting at with this is that the analysts are starting to, the defense is what's picking up and being called out more than the offense on all sides of the ball. You can see that now. It's like, we have our quarterbacks, we have our wide receivers, but now our defenses are starting to pick up, and that's where the focus is being put at. And I listened to 2 games back to back, Monday night on the radio and then Sunday night. And these commentators such great theatrics with the way they call the games, but the defense is what's going to prevail. And now coming back to our side of the division, I think right now the Dallas Cowboys defense is doing what they need to do in order to be this top 10 defense that I said before the season started because of Dan Quinn.
Well, I would agree with you to a certain extent. I feel that this was week 5, and now preseason of the regular season's over.
Correct.
The first 4 weeks is always like a preseason because they don't play preseason anymore.
No.
So it's still, you have to get yourself together here and such. And the defense takes a few weeks. The offense should always be ahead of the defense in the start of the season. But it's always the defense that wins championships.
Correct. And that's where I was getting at. And that's what I'm saying. The defense side of the play calling and hearing these analysts talk about, the stunts, the schemes, I'm starting to pick up on around how the NFL is actually playing, on the defense side of the ball with these spread defense. And I think everybody's figuring out Mahomes and these running quarterbacks and these what do they call them?
Apparently,
or what are they? Like Brett Favre?
Yeah, gunslingers. Well, apparently the Colts couldn't stop the second half of Lamar Jackson.
Well, that's exactly it. That's another game. That's the one I was listening to Monday night on the radio. These analysts have a lot more to give than if you ever get the chance to listen to it on the radio, it's so much more enthusiastic than hearing it on TV.
Well, I tell you what. First off, to take a little tidbit of what you're saying there. The guy who does the announcing for the radio station that calls all those games, he's amazing.
Yeah.
That guy is amazing. You know what I mean? I love listening to him on the radio. You know, and he's like, and it's like, even when it's something crazy going on, you know what I mean? He like calls it like it's a regular game. Like the cat's on the field and the cat's on the 50, he's on the 40. He does a little juke. Westwood won. Yes.
Westwood won. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, that guy is just awesome the way he calls the game.
Yeah. And that's what I'm starting to learn is when you listen to these games, you get a better breakdown mentally than you do visually, because you can hear what he's talking about. And that's the part that I'm liking about what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing. It's so awesome. I wish I could have that kind of audio in my ear during the game. Just
you can't come down here screaming if you can't take your team shot.
Thank you. I got a team shot. Go Birds!
There you go. So besides the trip down there to the Panther Nation, what all did you take away from what your game came from on the defense and offense?
So the defense did come to play, and Gannon was able to change it up some, where he actually did a blitz and it worked, and then he did another blitz and it worked. Whoa, what a novel idea. Maybe if we rush the quarterback with more than 3 or 4, we'll get to him.
Yeah.
And he'll make bad decisions. I mean, Sam Darnold looked like he played for the Jets.
Yeah.
And you could tell Carolina just wasn't putting us away, and that it was going to be a matter of moments, a matter of time before we were able to take advantage. And when they didn't get that fumble in the end zone, and it wound up being a safety instead of a fumble, that play, there was something specifically that Hurts did there that was really smart. When he lost the ball and he couldn't pick it up again, he blocked the first guy that came at him and then fell to the ground and really swiped the ball out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Instead of letting that guy go after it, he actually blocked the guy out of the way, fell, and just knocked the ball out of the end zone. Probably one of the biggest plays of the game.
Yeah, that saved you 5 points.
Right. And would have put us out of reach. Would have really put us out of reach. I think it would have been an ugly situation. But did that. They got the ball back, that we made them punt, and then we drove down and got a field goal before the end of the half. Made it 15-6. Wow. And then we held them to 3 points thereafter while we were trying to figure it out, because, again, Quez Watkins, that's the guy who been saying he's breaking out. He's going to be the guy, and he was the guy. I wish my quarterback could throw him the ball right. He just doesn't have that type of arm, but that is what it is.
Well, see, that's where I was saying earlier, is that the way he's being treated like Cam Newton. I mean, you can see the similarities, the way the coaching is of Jalen Hurts as it was to Cam Newton at the very beginning of his career with Carolina. And I mean, it's almost identical with the run, with the pass options that he's getting. Again, is it that he's not picking up on the playbook, or are they just not trusting him with the playbook?
Well, they've been giving him a lot of RPOs.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's where they're treating him like Cam Newton.
Well, and I've been told by a couple of experts, and when I say experts, professionals, I'll say that the Eagles are running a college offense. They're very predictable, and it's a college offense. And ultimately, if you're going to run a college offense, you better run it really, really well.
Yeah.
And they don't run it really, really well.
Well,
they don't.
See, that's going to be something to question on your coaching side is, are they trusting them, or is he just not picking up? And again, I have to say that because of the RPO, it's too consistent with that play.
We got to keep in mind that Jalen Hurts. This is Jalen Hurts' 10th game in the NFL, like as a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why they're kind of reining in the ranks a little bit. And if I'm going to sit here last year and say that Daniel Jones was unfamiliar with the offense, that's why he's lacking success. I mean, the same can be said about Jalen Hurts. I mean, this is a player who's in his second year in the NFL with a second system. So there's a lot of things that he's relearning what he learned from last year. So there is going to be a learning curve. And again, yes, I'm coming to Philly's defense here, and it wasn't but I'm just saying, if I'm going to hold that shield about Daniel Jones, I think it's only fair to say the same about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and I agree a little bit.
Until he plays the Giants, then he's trash, he's garbage, he's blah, 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 blah.
Right, and to just add a little bit more to that, we have a rookie coach who never called plays either.
Yeah.
So it's like you got a whole bunch of things that are firsts, a lot of firsts happening, and in the process, I mean, Jalen Hurts is doing what he can. And out of everything, the one thing that I could take away most is that they didn't quit. They stuck with it. And at any moment in time, it could have started to spiral out of control. So Carolina almost blocked our punt. They actually got a hand on it, and it went. They got to start on the 50-yard line, and couldn't go anywhere. Like they moved the ball for a little bit, but then couldn't go anywhere. They just could not put the dagger, just plunge the dagger in further. It was just they were letting us hang around, and ultimately, when you let a team hang around, they're going to figure it out. And I like the fact that they didn't quit, because at any moment in time it could have. Because had they lost this game, it might have been a spiral out of control, kind of like where the Giants are at right now.
Yeah, very true.
Oh, we already hit the bottom. We can only come up from here. So, but I do want to teeter on what you're saying. There was a lot, and when I mean a lot of 3 and outs. We had a full week of preparing for the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. We had a full week of preparing for the sound and all that. Now, I watched Giants TV today, okay? And I saw Coach Judge break down that defensive play where it was 3rd and short, how the tip happened and he got the interception, right? And he talked about how these are tendencies and how we expected tendencies. If I was there, my question for him was, then what about the offense? If we knew, or if we were, I mean, football is a chess match. If we, let's put it to brass tacks, it's a chess match. If we understood their tendencies, why couldn't we create more first downs? Why did we not take opportunities of that 4th down conversion that you guys didn't get, or the turnovers? There were way too many 3 and outs that even before I think you guys were up by 7 before Barkley went out.
Yeah.
But by that time it was going back and forth. We could say whatever.
Yeah.
Woulda. However, if that was the case, why so many 3 and outs? That would be my main question to Coach Judge.
But you know what? Because it doesn't matter if you know that they're going to do it. You still got to stop it.
You got to execute. You're right. Yeah, you got to execute.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
When you're not executing, when you're not, like you could say. I love it how in the beginning of games when they have these scripted plays and they all work. Why can't you just redo the script over again? It's like all those plays work. Let's do the whole script over again. Let's take those first 15 plays that wound up in a touchdown and redo the whole script again. Let's just do it again and see if they work again. People, they don't do that, though. For some reason or another, why is it that there's a play that works? It's rare that you go back to that play.
Well, it's kind of also like the fourth quarter when, you struggled the whole game. Fourth quarter comes around with 2 minutes left. All of a sudden, you can start moving the ball. All of a sudden, these teams start moving the ball down the field, and it's like, where was this the whole 3 quarters?
Right. Yeah.
Well, and that's mostly because when you're doing the prevent, you're preventing yourself from winning, not losing.
Exactly. So you got. I think you would have to use the same mentality for the first 3 quarters, then.
Right.
And that's
well, I mean, of course, in theory, I mean, yeah, that's what you would want to have that. But things happen. If you notice in many games, not just this one, but the running game towards the second half of the third quarter and onto the fourth quarter is more effective because now the running game is wearing down the defense.
Yep.
And then when that happens, you can pass on them more. So there's a lot of elements and levels of or the character, I could say, of the game that and also too, we were beat up. And not to make any excuses, it's a different kind of energy when your starters are out and you're down to when you're when you're down by like 11 per se.
Yep.
There's a different type of energy. So
yeah, and I'm just ready for my defense to be on the field, my full defense, because I'm missing players as well. And these guys are still executing. And with Jalen Smith out, out of the picture this past week, I saw a lot more stoppage in the middle of the field than I had previous when Jalen was there. Micah Parsons has stepped up his game big time. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. The overall defense, like I said, we were missing several guys, even on our offensive line. But, you got to play the game with what you got. And hat tip off to Kellen Moore. I mean, he's showing that offense. He's doing those play calls, and he said week in, week out, different play calls for different games.
Right. So, well, let's get to the wind down here. Starting with tomorrow night, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come into Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, the Eagles are a touchdown underdog at home, and the over-under at 52.5.
Huh. That's a tough field. I'm going to say under. I'm going to keep it under, and I think you guys are going to give them a hell of a game. I think you guys are going to keep it a lot closer than what they're saying.
I agree with that. I feel, especially because Brady's hurt. He's got like that problem with his hands. I think that it's going to be – I think that they're going to rely more on the running game and that the Eagles have to stop the running game to be able to actually get a chance to win this game. I think they do win this game. Mostly because we're catching them at a good time. It's on a Thursday. It's on a short week. He's a little banged up. He's 44 years old. I mean, how old we're about that age. We're a little older than him, but we know how our body hurts after going to a game on Sunday and we don't even get hit. You know what I mean? So
sure. And they're missing Gronk.
Correct. Yeah, but they've got everybody else. They got Antonio Brown, who's a stud.
Godwin.
Evans, who's a stud. The other tight ends does well. They got Fournette as a running back. Yeah, so they have so many weapons over there, but their defense is lacking right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They got no defensive backs. So the game, we should be able to pass on them. And the one thing that I've noticed about defenses lately is that they got us figured out. We only pass to the sidelines. We don't pass in the middle of the field. Carolina did not even cover the middle of the field.
Wow.
They threw one pass in the middle of the field to Zach Ertz, who caught the ball and ran he had more yards after the catch on that one throw than he has in the last 3 years.
You said that so surprisingly. Matt Hurts got a pass, and he caught the ball.
Yeah, because he dropped a couple. Acard dropped a couple lately.
And you got another tight end out under protocol, don't you?
Right. Dallas Goedert is under COVID, who is still could be out of protocol because I don't think he had it. I think he was just close proximity.
Yeah.
With all due respect, Philly, I appreciate the fact that you want to put us in the same age and sentence of Tom Brady because of our age and how relatable that is. I'm not even sure how much Tom Brady weighs, but I'm pretty sure that's my left leg. Tom Brady is a different. He's built differently, and what I mean is, for someone who don't like strawberries, I just don't get that. Why, Tom? What did strawberries do to you?
I don't like strawberries.
You don't like strawberries?
No.
The seed's on the outside, I guess.
Just not a strawberry fan, actually. So
we'll talk about this after the show because I don't. I disagree with you on that.
But that being said, like I said, he is 44 years old. Things do take longer to get better. You know, it's not like he's 24. He's not like he's 34 even. You know, you can go ahead and do whatever it is you want. And then he's coming into Philadelphia, where I know I'm Googling to find out what Giselle's boyfriend's name is so that I can make sure that he hears that. When he's running the offense. Oh, yes, I am. You know what I mean?
Hell.
Like, and same thing with Mike Evans. There's a rap sheet on Mike Evans. I got everything to talk about. Antonio Brown, I'm going to start yelling about the girl who was, I'm going to, anything I can do to just have them disrupted even one play.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Because it may only be that one play that I need to disrupt.
Are you on the visitor or the home side? Where are you sitting?
So I have seats right now, but I'm upgrading.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly where. But I'm trying to get on their side. I want to start yelling at them. Like I said, I'm doing my Google research. You know what I mean? So I'm Antonio Brown. I got a whole rap sheet for. You know what I mean? I can same thing with Mike Evans. And then like I said, I know that Tom Brady's wife has got a boyfriend. I'm gonna find out what his name is.
I don't think. Well, right now, are you saying right now?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Look, listen, don't do it, because if you expose her, I'm gonna get in trouble. She's gonna get in trouble. A lot of people are gonna be so upset. They're gonna be like, "Damn, you're saying I had a chance?" Don't do it, Philly. Don't just let it go. Go about your business, okay? Sorry, Mama Boss. What can I say? It was only physical. That's all I got. It meant nothing to me. Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Exactly.
You heard it here first, folks.
Hey, and if I'm missing tomorrow, y'all know why.
Hence the name Sneaky.
All right. So, do you have score predictions for my game?
Oh man, I want to be very respectful to you, Philly, but I'm going to say 30-17 Tampa.
Okay.
And that's being respectful. That's being respectful.
I understand.
I think you guys are going to play a little tougher than that. I think it's going to be 27-23.
That keeps it under. I actually have it as a 24-20 game.
Yeah.
And right. I think that we win it.
Yeah, I've got that. I think it's going to be a tighter game. That's a tough place to play.
And especially because their defense is hurting. Our defense is stepping up a little bit. I think that we get to Brady early. And if we get to Brady early just once.
Yep.
That would be enough to disrupt him for the rest of the game.
Yep, I believe so.
So, next we'll talk about really quickly. We'll just go. The Chiefs are playing Washington in Washington. The Chiefs are a 6.5-point favorite.
I think Washington's going to surprise. I think they're going to come back and take somebody on this game.
I think this is going to be the Chiefs' rebound game. They were embarrassed Sunday night, bottom line. And, it's going to be well, the Chiefs' defense is still horrendous.
Questionable.
Yeah, horrendous. So I can honestly see about be like a 32-24 game, KC. And I could be wrong, but I just don't see Washington beating the Chiefs. There's just too much experience on the offensive side of the ball, and for KC.
Yeah, I think Washington is in so much turmoil outside of the league, like outside of the gridiron, that it's going to be like a 44-17 game.
Do you really think that kind of distraction from a former executive would take that much? Okay.
Yeah, I think that it's just because some of the names. There's a lot of people that talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking, like wondering when is it going to be them that gets their email sent. So I think it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, I'm going to say that game's going to be, I don't think it's going to be quite that high, but I could be wrong. I've been proven wrong before. I think it's going to be, KC is going to be struggling a little bit. I think Washington defense is going to step up the game, but I think it's probably if anything, Kansas City will win by 6. I don't know if the score. I don't want to say what the score is. I think it's going to be under. I don't think there's going to be too much scoring.
It's 55.5, but Washington has let up 29 points or more in the last 4 weeks. And they let up. The week 1 it was only 20 points against the Chargers, but like I said, that was almost like a preseason game for everyone.
And as he said, as Sneaky said, they want to bounce back after that Bills game, so we'll see. Eh?
Yeah. Well, and also that Redskins defense has fallen off the ranks. I mean, honestly, just like the Giants defense, they were top 4. I mean, they were top 5 last year. Now, I mean, they're in the 20s. They're in the teens, and points and yards. So they're not the defense that they were last year.
And I think that's because of the drama that's happening around them.
That happened before. Because didn't one of their pass rushers also didn't you pick up one of their pass rushers?
Yes.
Okay, that could be because when we lost Tomlinson, that hurt us, and we're seeing that now. I mean, maybe that was the key to Leonard Williams' success, maybe not. But we're seeing the numbers and in the defensive production or lack thereof on the defensive side of the ball.
So, and just real quick, I want to put this there. Nathan Davies says his friend's dad did business with Dan Snyder and that he's a terrible person. So, just that little bit of hearsay right there. Next game, the Rams. 10-point favorite against the Giants, who's playing at home. 48.5 point over-under.
I'm going under. We're going to win 16-10.
I think the Rams are going to come out. That's a tough travel all the way across getting to the Eastern time zone. Depending on when they get there, how they go, I think the Rams are going to get this one.
I have it 23-16. I don't think that the Rams go as high as they do. I think that your defense tries to pick it up some, but it comes up a little short. So I would take the Giants and the points.
There you go.
Okay.
And last.
So you said 10 points?
They're getting 10 points.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Rams minus 11.
Yeah, well.
Over under 47.5.
I'm on the score app. Then you should go ahead and take that. Okay. And last, the Dallas Cowboys are in New England against the Patriots.
This is going to be a fun one. This one's going to be a tough one. I think we will prevail, though, with the run game. I'm going to say we're going to get this one 31-24.
Yeah, that'll put it over 51 points. I could see it easily going over 51. I'm going to say Pat's going to squeak this one out 49-48.
I don't think it's going to be as high scoring of a game. I think that Belichick's only chance to beat you guys is to keep it low scoring. And if he is able to keep you guys under 24 points, that he can win this game. Short of that, like he's got to win it. He's got to hold you guys to like 21 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think our run game is going to work. It's going to come in this week. It's going to come into factor, I would say. Much more than the passing game, depending on the weather, too.
Oh, that's right, because it's in New England.
Yes.
That's right.
So it's going to be a fun one up there.
I'm just looking at the takeaways. You guys are at +7, and they're at -3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be big.
Yeah, and like I said, the weather's going to come into play. See how that goes. Hopefully, it's not like the Bucs game.
Exactly. So, anyways, we are at the end of our show this evening. So I appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. And as always, we will see you guys next Wednesday. Everybody from the Eagles, you'll see me tomorrow night. I will be down there. I actually have a film crew following me around before the game. I'm going to be hitting a whole bunch of tailgates. So if you see me with a whole bunch of cameras around me, that's just normal stuff. Come say hello, take some pictures. I'm taking around the NFL end zone crew to go to a couple of tailgates. They're checking out the Philadelphia tailgate scene. So I am their host for the evening. So me and Corey Yarkin, which is a beautiful young lady who I get to hang with for a little while. So, but anyways, so check me out tomorrow. And in the meantime, everybody, go Birds!
Cowboys!
Oh!